It was May 1, 1994, a tragic weekend in the history of Formula One. Not only were numerous drivers injured, but two also lost their lives: Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna. Despite the tragedies, the race continued. Is it merely a sport or perhaps a battle? Are two racers meant to sacrifice their lives for entertainment, like gladiators in ancient Rome? April 29. Let's rewind and start with the first practice session. Brazilian driver Barrichello took off at 225 kilometers or 140 miles per hour after hitting a curb and slammed into a tire barrier. Miraculously, he escaped with only a broken nose, but he also swallowed his tongue upon impact and lost consciousness. April 30th, during qualifying, Roland Ratzenberger damaged his front wing by hitting another curb. Instead of repairing it, he attempted to set a faster lap time in the next round. At a top speed of around 300 kilometers or 186 miles per hour, he lost the front wing, which got wedged under the front wheels, causing him to lose control. As he tried to steer into a corner, he headed straight for the concrete wall. Qualifying was halted, and Ratzenberger was airlifted to the hospital, where they diagnosed a skull base fracture and a broken neck. Within hours, it was clear that Ratzenberger would never set foot in this world again. May 1, Ayrton Senna started from pole position. Initially, a safety car was supposed to lead the field during the warm-up lap, but Senna and Berger opposed the idea, arguing that it wouldn't allow the tires to reach the necessary temperature. The race began with the lights out. In the very first lap, drivers Leto and Lamy collided. Debris from their cars, including wheels and bodywork, flew into the crowd, lightly injuring 9 people. Despite the track being littered with metal fragments, the race wasn't stopped. The safety car was deployed, but tire pressure and temperature continued to drop. After the safety car left the track, sparks flew from Senna's car, exactly where he would crash a lap later. He hit the wall at approximately 211 kilometers or 131 miles per hour. A piece of suspension flew off and penetrated Senna's helmet visor, fatally injuring him. At 14:17, the race was finally stopped, but even with medical attention, Senna's situation seemed dire. Despite the red flag, another driver ventured onto the track and managed to brake just before reaching the crash site. Senna was also airlifted to the hospital, but 2 hours later, his death was announced. The tragedy didn't stop there. In the 16th lap, Berger retired due to steering issues. Later, a loose tire in the pit lane injured for mechanics who required hospital treatment. At this award ceremony, no champagne was sprayed, and even Senna wanted to dedicate his victory to Ratzenberger if he won, but unfortunately, that never happened. After this Grand Prix, there were numerous rule changes, but they came much too late. 2 drivers had to die purely for entertainment. This seems completely disproportionate. It's reminiscent of ancient Rome and the Colosseum. Was that still appropriate? And even worse, you see the laughing and celebrating crowd. People are monsters. 2 racers died before your eyes, and many others were injured. Yet all that comes to mind is laughter. In such situations, a little more compassion should be shown. In my opinion, the race should have been stopped already after Ratzenberger's accident. It was evident that the track wasn't necessarily designed to be safe, with minimal runoff areas where a vehicle could roll to a stop. This becomes clear when you look at Ratzenberger's crash. The race director who approved the circuit bears responsibility. In a well-known racing series like Formula One, there should be a budget to thoroughly inspect the track and secure any dangerous spots, if necessary. Moreover, there was hardly any compassion from the other drivers. Only Berger seemed to care and expressed frustration about the race. He demonstrated that this couldn't continue in Formula One. Of course, expecting everyone to cry would be a misconception. But situations like these are not a laughing matter. Spectators need to be aware that motorsport shouldn't end in tragedy. Some might argue that it's the driver's decision whether to get into the cockpit or not, but it's not that simple. Each race involves millions of dollars, crucial for both constructors and drivers. Often, there's no choice because sponsors don't want to lose millions. Even Niki Lauda, a Formula One legend, once got into the cockpit despite appealing not to start the race. The sad truth is that our world revolves around money. Haven't we seen enough suffering? Apparently, Money can also buy lives, but this mindset needs to change as soon as possible. I consider this race representative of all of Formula One. While it was an exceptional situation, not every race is like this. However, many issues related to racing converged in this event. Today, despite all the rule changes, it remains just as risky. We saw it again in Monaco. A race carries significant weight and comes with high risks. We're fortunate that none of the drivers were injured, but we shouldn't take that for granted because so much could have gone wrong. Among the fans, there are even those who rejoice when a driver crashes into the wall. I don't need to say much about that, I simply appeal to your humanity. I hope this video provides a new perspective on Formula One and how dangerous this sport truly is. Please refrain from celebrating when a racer has an accident, even if it benefits your favorite team. It could always be the last crash. I'd appreciate hearing your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like or subscribing to this channel. Until next time, bye.